This is the loft area of our house, and it's always been a bit of a mess. So when my wife gave me the go-ahead to make over this movie/man cave area, I jumped at the chance. After adding some IKEA cabinetry, I decided to upgrade the lighting from harsh overhead lights to an ambient system of lighting around our 85-inch TV. So I thought it would be a great time to show you exactly how I added the lighting to the TV, cabinets, and room, taking it from looking like this to looking like this, to give you ideas for your own TV lighting setup. As always, timestamps and product links are in the description to everything I use in this video. So the steps I took to accomplish this lighting makeover were as follows. After finally getting around to building and mounting the IKEA Besta cabinets, after some cleaning and TV cable management, I'm ready to get organizing the lighting. The accessories I bought to accomplish this task were mostly Hue products, as I have been using them all over my house. I know they can be pricier than other products such as Govee, which can do exactly the same thing, but I like to keep everything uniform. I just like their products. Of course, you can spend more or less depending on your budget and needs. So let's start mounting the lights on the TV. For this 85-inch TV, I'm using the 16-foot long Hue light strip, which should cover over the entire back of this TV. From past experience, I've had a little trouble keeping and organizing light strips on the back of TVs until I started using these bracket kits, which allows me to curve the strips on the corner easier and give me a cooler area for the strips to adhere to instead of the hot TV. They are a game changer. Of course, the best way to add the strips is to do this before mounting the TV on the wall, but it still can be accomplished just with a little bit more effort. I was lucky enough to be able to pull out my TV from the wall to give me more room so I could work a little bit easier. Using the brackets, I set them up on the top of the corner of the TV using a ruler to measure the distances from the edge of the TV to the strips. It came out to around 4 to 5 inches, so I could get a uniform lighting look. I also loosely tested the strips to make sure it would run exactly where I wanted it to be. These brackets are great. They use 3M tape, which are incredibly solid. I stuck the corner pieces and the straight pieces and repeated the process around the TV perimeter, measuring as I go. I then laid out the 16-foot Hue strips on those brackets loosely, removed the paper backing, and stuck them on the brackets and TV itself. Finally, sticking the Hue strip control box down the middle of the TV and plugging it in. The strips and brackets are solid, permanent, and lined up correctly. I love how they give that soft glow, nice and diffused from the front, and enhance the look of the TV already. I then moved on to adding lighting to the underside of my cabinets. This time I'm using the 10-foot Hue light strips, as luckily my cabinets measured out to be exactly 10 feet. For this process, I had to drill holes in my cabinet so I can run the strips to my outlets to give a clean wireless look. I bought a 1-inch hole kit for my drill to accomplish this. I first removed the paper backing of the Hue strips and applied them to the underside of the cabinets close to the wall as possible, so they wouldn't be visible from the front and diffuse the light a little bit. At the end of the strip, where it connects to the power, it had perfectly aligned with the corner of the cabinet. I then used that hole saw kit and drilled a spot for that power cord to pass through. Then I added one of the rubber grommets to seal the hole in and managed the cable through it. Then I connected the Hue power supply, plugged it in to the outlet, and mounted the control box to the backside of the cabinet, giving me some great accent color to the bottom of the cabinet, wall, and floor, with not one cable showing. Once all the light strips are done, I still wanted a little more accent lighting for the loft, so I went with the Fado lamp from IKEA. Of course, I wanted to continue hiding all the cables, so I drilled a clean hole into the top of the cabinet to route the power cord straight down and out of sight. And instead of using a regular light bulb, I dropped in a Hue Smart bulb so I could sync it with all my other lighting. That frosted globe design on the Fado is perfect for this kind of setup because it naturally diffuses the light in every direction. Instead of a harsh beam, you get this soft, even glow light that fills the loft and blends beautifully with the under cabinet strips. But I still felt like the TV setup needed something to balance the space, a little greenery, to soften all this tech. So I added a lighted planter from Blume, and of course, since it lights up, it needs power. So out came the hole saw again. I drilled another clean pass-through underneath the planter, so the cable could drop down and stay completely hidden. Same clean aesthetic, no exposed wires. What's cool about this planter is that you can adjust the lighting from cool white to warm. It adds a subtle glow to the plant day or night, which helps balance the loft lighting and keep the setup from looking too sterile. Now, full transparency, we don't exactly have the best track record with keeping plants alive, so instead of risking another death, I went with a realistic faux snake plant. It looks real, adds a natural touch, and requires exactly zero maintenance. To bring it into the Hue ecosystem, I plug the planter into Hue Smart Plug. That way it turns on and off with the rest of the lighting scenes. So now the under cabinet strips, the Fado lamp, the pot, all work together as one lighted setup. I also added another Hue light bulb to the corner lamp just to complete the lighting setup. Now to control all the lighting in our new movie room, I used the Philips Hue wall tap dial light switch. Just keep in mind, this, just like all the light strips and bulbs, do require Hue bridge to connect all devices. Installation is super simple. You can mount it to the wall using the adhesive backing, use it like a normal light switch, or pop the dial off and use it as a remote. It even sticks to magnetic surfaces. So technically, you can use this in any room in the house. Once the loft and all the lighting is set up in the Hue app, you can program each of the 4 buttons on the dial to control different rooms, zones, or preset scenes. Overall, it gives you a quick physical control of your lighting without needing your phone, and that's what makes it really a nice add-on to the full Hue setup. And to finish out the lighting and decor, I added a couple of flameless candles that are on timer, some memorabilia from my alma mater, a couple knickknacks, to finally complete the TV and cabinet lighting. And one more thing, I'm not just controlling all this with the Hue dial. Since everything is connected with the Hue bridge, I can also control the entire setup with Alexa. Alexa, turn on loft lights. Alexa, turn loft lights blue. Alexa, turn loft lights red. Alexa, turn loft lights green. Alexa, turn loft lights bright. So whether I want to dim the lights, change colors, or switch scenes for movie night, I can just use my voice. It makes the whole experience feel effortless, no switches, no apps, just simple commands. And that's how I transformed our loft, from flat and basic to fully layered, cinematic, and completely cable-free. But honestly, this isn't even my favorite upgrade. You need to see what we did with my wife's desk setup. And we took the cable management approach even further. Go watch that video next, it's right here. So you made it to the end of today's video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more SHELTECH.